So my question is, or my method is going to take us to the financial services like insurance. But before we start, how many of you have any insurance against extreme events, extreme climate events, property insurance? Raise your hand, please. Okay. How many of you know something about insurance, how they work, the financial services? Brilliant and nice. So now imagine that we are not insuring the property, but we are insuring the nature and ecosystem services themselves that are helping us to protect the property. So the fact is that the ecosystem services produce a economic value, and this value is huge. Right? There are different evaluation techniques, different exercises that have demonstrated that. And I will come back to that. We have also conducted a global review of those. So this is a fact. This is well agreed that ecosystem services have an economic value, but they have no price. Now the question is, and many private services, like financial services, looking into the business case, many say, oh, there is no space for private businesses and there's no space for insurance because it doesn't belong to their business model, because there are a number of barriers. Now, I would like to provide you with some ideas about why this is a myth and why number of initiatives have been started. So ecosystem services do have the potential to reduce disaster losses, and the private services and investment of private businesses into biodiversity, protection and nature restoration is desperately needed. So is there any business case for the insurance? Insurance can contribute in a number of ways. Insurers are, first of all, providers of financial services. They know the risk because the risk is their business. They pool your uncertainty and your risk, and by pooling it all together, they turn it into certainty. So they have excellent knowledge about how to calculate the risk. They have a huge incentive into helping you to manage better the risk, because in certain areas the risk might become unaffordable or the insurance cover not available because of a number of governance issues or the price of the policies themselves. And insurers are financial investors as well. They are holding a lot of capital that might be invested. So there is a huge potential for harnessing the power of insurance for nature restoration and ecosystem services regeneration. And now the initiatives that that I am coordinating, and the Euro-Mediterranean Center on Climate Change is the coordinating entity, is tracing down those business cases, looking into what kind of ecosystem services might be interesting for insurance sector, how to build a business case in order to make it attractive for the insurance. So we are doing that by collecting the evidence, looking into assessing the evidence, looking into how the performance of nature-based solutions should be documented in order to be attractive, and looking into creating a financial laboratories, bringing together people from different backgrounds in order to elaborate on those cases. Right, we have done, I have included for you a number of literature sources. They are very interesting. There are a couple of sources where we looked into the global assessment of how the nature-based solution perform in terms of risk reduction. And there's a clear evidence that nature-based solutions do reduce the risk. And neglecting that would undermine the business cases as well as the risk assessment. So if you don't take into account in your catastrophe models the nature degradation, that means you are missing a very important component of your risk drivers, and you are likely underpricing the risk. So I will leave you with this example, and this is a practical example, have been implemented, has been first elaborated on small scale and later on upscale, rescale to a larger impact. It's an ecosystem insurance of coral reef. So coral reef reduces the damage to the coastal properties, but the coral reef itself gets damaged by extreme events. So this coral reef insurance makes it possible to restore the coral reef immediately after the disaster strike, and that means helping the nature and ecosystem services to deliver those services that we desperately need. So this is my contribution. Ecosystem insurance is workable, is interesting business case for the financial institution as well as for nature-based advocacy. Thank you very much.